Welcome to the DAZN Soccer Show. I'm Adi Oladipo, joined by former Arsenal forward Leanne Sanderson and former Man City defender Nader Manua. The Champions League is back, matchday weeks 3 and 4. The favourites have done what the favourites have done. The likes of Man City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich have picked up maximum points. But the other clubs, Liverpool, who started as one of the favourites, have struggled. So have Chelsea as well. Let's focus on the Man City game. They take on Copenhagen at Nader. Copenhagen struggled in the Champions League, just a draw so far, and have also struggled in the Danish Superliga as well. If you're Man City, do you maybe look at this game as a chance to rest some players?
I think that's a good question. I think if you want to talk about resting a few, I think you missed the point. I think it's more about rotating a few, because some of the people that need to come in this month of October, I think they're going to have 9-10 games. I think any side anywhere near the top is going to be playing in those games. Is going to be rotating their squad. And this is really when you sort of test it out. You're not going to make, say, 10 changes, but maybe you'll play like an Alvarez instead of a Haaland. Maybe you'll play a Gomez at left back. Maybe you'll bring in another centre back, give Laporte more time to play. Because, at the end of the day, the players that come in, they're still good enough to be able to win that game of football. And if you're giving them an opportunity, you'd imagine they're inspired enough to be able to play well enough so that the manager has a bigger decision further down the road when the games are sort of fewer and far further between. So yeah, it's a nice, I feel like it's a nice fixture. Copenhagen, they're obviously good. They didn't just qualify for the Champions League through a raffle. But in this moment for City, they have to be confident playing at home, having already won 2 games, that they can ultimately maybe make 1 or 2 changes, but still not lose any momentum. And it'll be interesting to see the side that they go for in the end.
I think if you look at City's rotation, as we just mentioned, Akanji as well coming in there, I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And what a signing he's been. Was it 20, 25 million, kind of a last minute in the transfer window, and obviously playing alongside Nathan Ake in the Manchester derby. These players that seem to come in, and that's why I love Pep Guardiola, because he seems to be able to get the best out of his players, and they all know. We've only got to look at Phil Foden for England in comparison to Phil Foden for Manchester City. When Phil Foden plays for England, he doesn't reach the heights that he does, as he does at Manchester City. You've only got to look at that in the Manchester derby. So for me, these players that are coming in on a rotation are also on a completely different level as well. And I think it looks like they enjoy being at the club, and you can see that within them.
A big British derby at Anfield. Liverpool, look, they've not started the Champions League well at all. Losing to Napoli, scoring a last-minute winner against Ajax to get the 3 points. They take on Rangers. Must-win game for both. But it's Liverpool who have obviously got the pressure on them. Must-win game for Liverpool, this one, Nader.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, everyone believes that Liverpool will be back and everything will be fine at some point, and they believe they are good enough to be able to go very far in this competition. So it's a positive opportunity to do that in a very, very, emotional game. It's going to be, the Rangers fans are going to be coming down. It's going to make for such a grand occasion. But like you say, it's a must-win for both sides, and it's going to be one which you have to tune into. Because, as I say, it's got that element of a must-win game in October. They don't really come very, very often. So I think it's going to be, as I say, a fantastic game. Liverpool under a bit of pressure, Rangers under a bit of pressure as well, because I think you could argue they've been underperforming in the competition. So yeah, go out there, try and play attacking football. Nobody really wants to be that negative in this game. But what a boost it could be with a good performance and a good result for both sides. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Liverpool, in my opinion, overwhelming favourites, but one bad result there, and if the Rangers get the win, and before you know it, it could be a crisis talk.
Leanne, let's focus on Chelsea now. Graham Potter's second game in charge of Chelsea in Europe. This time, they're a whole different task, isn't it, against AC Milan, who come to town. Olivier Giroud comes back as well. And so far, so good for Olivier Giroud. 5 goals in Serie A. AC Milan doing well in Serie A as well. How do you expect Chelsea to deal with this AC Milan side?
Yeah, absolutely. I like Olivier Giroud as well. I always did. And I always felt like it was quite strange that Arsenal allowed him to go to Chelsea. I call him the one-touch king on that front post, the way he passes the ball in the back of the net, and he's really good at holding up the play as well. So I think the fact that Graham Potter's gone to Chelsea, for me, I'm happy for him. It makes sense. I think he deserves these types of opportunities. From what I hear, a lot of people like him. The media seem to like him, but let's see how much they like him if he goes on a bad run of form at Chelsea, because we know that Chelsea don't hang about with their managers, do they? They've had, 18, 19 managers in the space of 21 years. That's not okay. But I think it makes sense that Graham Potter's there. You can see his style coming into fruition, but no disrespect to Brighton, but Chelsea's a completely different level. I'm excited to see what this Graham Potter team can do.
Yeah, look, some good games in the Champions League. We will reflect on those games throughout the week. Up next, though, we're going to preview a massive game at Wembley Stadium. And yes, I know it's only a friendly, but it's not often the world champions come to town. England take on the USA.